Hello there. This is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another car video. Fboy Allen illustrates the game. Fboy Allen. And y'all know what Fboy is. Yeah, so if HBO Max can use Fboy, I'll just use Fboy too. Because, I still want to get monetized. And, regardless of everything, Rom's about the money. All right. Oh, let me say something about that real quick. Sometimes people complain about something I do, or if I delete a comment or block someone. Don't take it personally. It's about the money. Everything I do on here, ultimately, I want to help people, but it's about the money. So anyway, check it out, right? Fboy Allen, that's on HBO Max. The premise of the show is that you have three women, looking for love. All these shows are like that. So they started out with 24 men. They would add 3 men later on. But it had 24 men. 12 nice guys, self-identified nice guys. 12 F-boys. And just to be clear, they checked these guys out way before they got on the show. So, because they had what they do at the end of every episode, they eliminate 3 guys, and then the guys reveal what they were. Now, they eliminated one guy, and he said, "What are you?" And he said, "A nice guy." But then the producers came in, and they said, "No, we got these videotapes of you. You said 3 times you said you were an F-boy." And plus, they're going to have, psychologists and stuff. Any of these reality shows, they have a team of psychologists. So anyway, though, the thing that this thing illustrates is that, yes, you can have the bait, but you got to still have game. You still got to have a personality. You got to still have some charisma. Because I'm going to tell you what. Okay, you had the F-boys versus the nice guys. You couldn't tell who was who. Because sometimes when they do stuff like that, they had the players looking all flashy and stuff, and the nice guys looking all dorky, right? And that wasn't the case. If you looked at these guys, you couldn't tell. In fact, one of the first guys that was eliminated, right? For the first ones eliminated, specifically an Asian guy, because I said, oh, he looked like a nice guy. No, he was an F-boy. He was an F-boy. So, it was, hold on. So you couldn't really tell. But that was an important aspect of game in itself, because you got a lot of guys out here thinking, oh, you just got to look like Chad or Tyrone, or you just got to be, just good, just looks. And even with the body game, as much as if anybody was following me, yes, I promote body game. I say get those muscles in. But if you really listen to me, I said that's the bait. That gets them over there. Yeah, it arouses them sexually. But then what if I also said a woman will look at a guy and say he looked good until he opened his mouth? They say, yeah, he was fine until he opened his mouth. Which means you got to have the personality part too. That's the key. That's the key. Some people call it mouthpiece, personality, whatever. Now, to be clear, because I know I always get somebody say, well, the mouthpiece is most important. It's a sequence. You got to have both. You got to have both. Really. You gotta look, like if a woman look at you, she has to at least want to kiss your face and hug your body. That's a minimum. All right? You got to be at a minimum. Then the mouthpiece comes in, or the personality or whatever. But you can't have one without the other. Like if you got, and it illustrated that on Fboy Allen. You can look good, but if you don't have a good conversation or you don't click with that personality, you lose out. Consequently, if you look good, if you don't look good and you don't have something that the woman want to get with, then you lose out. You just be in a friend zone. And before, well, every time I say something like that, somebody always bring up like Biggie, but you don't know what those women like physically. Some women like big. It is what it is. They had to have something. Regardless of what the man say, you talk to the women, it's got to be something at a minimum, right? But anyway, getting back to Fboy Island, that showed it perfectly, because you couldn't look at him and tell. Because at first I thought they were going to say Fboy, nice guy, but they didn't. They ain't indicate anything. So you didn't know. And remember, I said there was that one guy, he got eliminated. He said it was a nice guy, and the producers came in and was like, nah, you said you an Fboy. So you can't tell. And in fact, so far they've eliminated 9 guys. 5 are nice guys. And if you want to go throw in that guy who lied and say he was a nice guy, then 6 were nice guys. But the women couldn't tell. In fact, there were times when the women eliminated somebody, they identified themselves as a nice guy, and the woman was like, seriously, they had looks on their face. Or sometimes I think they had a look of surprise when one of the guys was a F-boy. I think. I gotta look back at it and see. But whatever the case, you couldn't tell. Now, according to what some people think, these guys had all you needed. All you needed. Some guys think, oh, you need a personality. You actually get some dudes out there think, oh, personality don't count. Really? So what are you going to do with the women when you meet them? Okay, you got them over there. You going to talk to them? What y'all going to do? Just, okay, y'all like each other. Look, y'all just going to be quiet and go to the bedroom? No, it don't work that way. In fact, a lot of men, anybody who's familiar with it, basically, a lot of people who's familiar know a lot of guys talk themselves. That like the women think they are all right, at least all right, or even good looking, even great looking. And then their personality get them out of it. They say something stupid or something like that. So you got to have both. And I like that this show is really showing that. It's showing the mindset you still got to have. And I think that was, I think it was genius. I think I really like that they did it that way. Because it would have been too easy just to have the normal, like there was a show back in the early 2000s. It was called Average Joe. And it was a situation in Average Joe where they had one woman and they would put her in with the average Joes. These are just all average looking guys and everything. And they would put them in with, they had to win the heart of this one woman. They had to compete for this one woman. But then halfway through, and you get a couple episodes where it's just the average Joes and the woman, but then about 3rd or 4th episode or somewhere in there, they bring in a bunch of hunks. And then then they got to compete with them. Now, check it out with that, just to let you know that, yes, even though I'm talking about the personality part here, the bait is still important. In the 3 seasons they had of that show, the first 2, the hunks won. The 3rd one, the average Joe won, but they had to fix him up. They had to get his drip together, everything, give him a decent haircut, everything. They fixed him up. And plus the woman was just a little bit more open for that type of guy. And part of that gets into like culture and everything, because I distinctly remember she was from Poland. So, she might have been more open for a different type of guy. Not saying that specific country is like that, but when you start throwing stuff like class, culture, ethnic background, you start throwing it in, is that you find out it's going to be nuances. But anyway, with Fboy Island, I think I'm like, oh man. And even then, if you really look at a lot of the guys, in my estimation, a lot of personality-wise, and not even just the nice guys would be non-select, just personality, but on the surface they look good, just from the behavior and everything. And just to be clear, like I always say, the body game itself and all that is just the foundation. And I've done some on-demand videos where I talk about working the body game and the Goodbar Mystique. And I'm gonna link them in the description box. Because honestly, publicly I throw out a lot of stuff, but my real stuff is always on my pay sites. That's the deeper stuff. I'm just a body game's actually a freebie. But you want to go deeper, you gotta check out my other stuff. And because, as I say, when Rom do stuff, yes, I like helping people, but Rom's a capitalist. Rom gotta make that money. So, So, you know what? Check it out. Fboy Island on HBO Max. Check it out. You could probably find some highlights or something just doing a YouTube search and just get an idea about it. Because that means, like, you still gotta have some game. And, people throw different words into it or think it's manipulation. You still gotta talk to the woman. You still gotta win her over. You still gotta click with her, no matter what. Because, and especially if it's an attractive woman, because an attractive woman, she's choosing from several attractive men, so you gotta have something to stand out. So, anyway, that's all I got. I don't need to belabor the point. I gotta go spend some of that money I made, get me some vittles. All right, I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.